If you notice the odd state of affairs, President Bush, President Obama, et al. Apparently think that they are the Theologian-in-Chief. I mean, I think it's extremely bizarre that they are the ones determining, or so they tell us, who is and who is not of a certain faith group, of a certain religion, of a certain theology. Is that really why they're in office? So they could determine for us who is and is not, following a certain theology accurately, a certain holy text? That is so bizarre to me. But that is the position in which they find themselves. They are the POTUS Maximus. And they are infallible, by the way, in these declarations. Oh, you can't dare go against them. No. See, we're constantly told to have these great national discussions, have these great national conversations, but then we're not allowed to have them. No. What we're allowed to do is sit passively by as the silent majority and be lectured to. Lectured to by the president, lectured to by the media, lectured to by academia, lectured to by pop culture. And if you dare raise your hand and say, hi, I may have something to contribute to this conversation, then it is somehow legal for people to threaten your life, call you every name in the book, expose facts about your private lives, threaten to arson your business. It's just never ending. You have this civilian force out there doing the bidding of the president. If you dare disagree on an issue such as who is or is not of a certain religion or a certain lifestyle, if you dare to think that you should exercise the traditional right of refusing service to anyone for any reason when you own a business, you should be boycotted, you should be fired, you should have your career thrown away, all because you disagree. It's astonishing. But that is the situation in which we find ourselves. So that the POTUS Maximus doeth speaketh, and so it is. So for example, consider the fact that we are now being told that terrorists who routinely hold up a copy of the Quran and quote the Quran in support of what they're doing, we're told they're not really Muslims. There you go. They're not Muslims. That is the position of our current administration. They are not Muslims. And yet, well, let me back up a step and give you an example. Let's say that I get arrested, okay? And the government begins to use taxpayer money to provide me with a Quran, a prayer rug, prayer time 5 times a day, and halal meals, okay, like the Muslim equivalent of a kosher meal. I would think, well, that's rather odd, because I'm not a Muslim. Why are you giving me all this stuff? So, the non-Muslims, the totally not a Muslim, who are in Guantanamo Bay, for instance, that's what their administration is doing for them. They're taking your tax dollars and providing them Qur'ans, prayer rugs. They're allowing them prayer 5 times a day, not to mention holidays, and they're providing them halal meals. Now, I'm sure also that those guys in Guantanamo Bay are saying, oh, no, thank you, we don't need all this stuff because we're not Muslims at all, are we? No. Or take Osama bin Laden, another totally not Muslim. And yet the administration has detailed how they went to great lengths to ensure they provided bin Laden Muslim funerary rights. Now, why would that be? I mean, if I end up in heaven and I see that I'm being put through Muslim funerary rites, I would think, well, that's rather odd indeed. I'm not a Muslim. So this is the cognitive dissonance with which we must live today, because it is thus proclaimed that you affirm that they're not Muslims, but then you treat them as Muslims. There you go. There you go.